Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Nathan, and today we have some amazing Montreal Canadiens news to announce. Nick Suzuki has just signed an 8-year contract, signing with the Montreal Canadiens and staying with the Montreal Canadiens long term. Now, I am just reacting to this. I just woke up to this news, and I am on cloud 9 right now. But what is the contract details when it comes to this Nick Suzuki deal? How should we feel about it? Is it a bad contract, good contract? And how will it affect the Montreal Canadiens going forward? All those questions will be answered in today's video, and all the details will be revealed. And make sure that subscribe button as well. If you haven't already, 60% of the people that are watching are not subscribed. If you like hockey, this channel is the place to be. Now, Pierre LeBrun and Elliotte Friedman were the first to get the details on this contract, but the Montreal Canadiens have signed Nick Suzuki for the next 8 seasons, and I am extremely happy that it is a long-term deal first and foremost. Having him for 8 years, we know Nick Suzuki is good right now, but we know he's going to be even better as these years go by. I don't think there's as much risk on this deal as I see people thinking there is. I think Nick Suzuki has already had a pretty natural progression in the NHL. He was fantastic in the playoffs last year as a top 2 centerman for the Habs, going to the Stanley Cup final at such a young age, and this is a guy that's going to be a fantastic cornerstone piece for the Habs going in the future, going for these next 8 seasons. And you see how many young players are going on short-term deals, these bridge deals lately. Nick Suzuki going on an 8-year deal is super refreshing and at a pretty decent cap pick considering the situation. Now, the deal goes as follows. Nick Suzuki has signed an 8-year extension with the Montreal Canadiens at a $7.875 million cap hit. So just shy of $8 million basically, which is what the Sens have offered Brady Tkachuk as an example. Kind of similar to what we saw maybe with Andrei Svechnikov's contract, but Nick Suzuki gets a $7.875 million deal, which I think in terms of his value right now isn't too far off his current actual value with the Habs at the moment. He's a guy that in terms of points hasn't been amazing so far, but the value comes in his overall play and the influence he has in the Habs lineup and how important he is, and I think that's a huge bonus as well. Just having that little bit for now, but really the 8-year deal, having that projectability, Nick Suzuki is going to get better, he's going to improve, and he's going to be an absolute star in the NHL. And at $7.8 million with the cap going up and at such a young age, this is a home run of a deal for Marc Bergevin and a home run of a deal for the Montreal Canadiens. Now, Nick Suzuki is just a hair above Andrei Svechnikov. Suzuki has a $7.875 million contract. Svechnikov is at $7.75 for the next 8 years. But honestly, Svechnikov is a deal that, even though he has been inconsistent over the last year, I still think is going to turn out to be a great deal with the talent that Svechnikov has. Over those 8 years, he's going to improve, he's going to get better, and it's the exact same thing with Nick Suzuki, and even more so. I think Nick Suzuki maybe has more value right now. Maybe Svechnikov does later, but both of these guys are stupendous young players that over these next few years are going to get better and more consistent too. I mean, looking at Nick Suzuki's profile right now, he is only 22 years old, but has already proved so much. Now, in terms of point scoring, obviously he's never gotten over 41 points, but a lot of that is due to circumstance. Over the last 2 seasons, in his rookie season, or 2 years ago, he got 71 games played under his belt, 13 goals, 28 assists for 41 points. This last year, 56 games played, 15 goals, 26 assists for 41 points too. He was on pace for around a 65-70 point season on the Montreal Canadiens, which is pretty stupendous considering the regular season offense. And this is a kid that in terms of the defense, in terms of the playoff stats so far, and the consistency there is easily worth it for the projectability. Nick Suzuki is not going to be a guy that just goes out of nowhere and just starts being bad all of a sudden. He's going to be a consistent, great product. You know what you're getting, and he's going to get better over these next few years too. He's a fantastic player though, already has proved himself in the playoffs. I mean, just looking at the playoff stats, man, this is a guy that is going to be fantastic. If it'll actually load right now, I'd appreciate that. But this last year in 22 games, he got 7 goals, 9 assists in 16 playoff games. The year before that, he got 7 points in 10 playoff games. This is a guy that continues to be fantastic in the playoffs, in the regular season, everywhere he plays, and the defense on top of that production is what makes him so valuable. Why he got a $7.85 million contract or $7.875, and it's going to be a reason why this contract looks fantastic by year 3, year 4, and year 5. Now, there are some more details to this contract. For instance, Chris Johnston has reported that a 10-team no-trade clause is also a part of this, but honestly, I don't think that matters really too much, because if Nick Suzuki is going to be available, I think a lot of teams are going to want him either way, so even in that case, I don't think it'll hurt the Montreal Canadiens too much, and I really don't see Nick Suzuki being at a level where this contract's going to look all too bad. It might just look okay at some point, maybe in year 8 or something, but he's going to be in the middle of his prime, basically, when that, or at the end of his prime when that is the case at age 30. He's going to be a player that is consistent, is productive, is fantastic defensively, and is a cornerstone piece of the Montreal Canadiens. And they, I think, truly needed to get Nick Suzuki locked up for the future. That was the #1 priority recently. We heard that from Mark Bergevin, we heard that from the Montreal Canadiens, and they got it done relatively quickly. It was only about a couple of weeks of actual contract negotiation time that this was on the plate of the Canadiens and Nick Suzuki, but they got it done fairly recently and pretty quickly too, which I think is great news for other players like Cole Caulfield in the future, that they can sign these young guys super quickly, get them convinced to stay, and stay for more than 7 years. 8-year deal for Nick Suzuki, going until he's 30, his prime seasons, and this is absolutely a perfect situation for the Canadiens, where they can now perfectly rebuild around Nick Suzuki, know what they're getting into, and have him at a $7.875 million cap hit. What a deal! And it's going to look better and better as the seasons go by. Now, what I do predict to happen is that maybe in the next year, it doesn't look maybe as good as it could. I would expect Nick Suzuki to be still what he's usually been maybe in 2022. But by the time we get into 2023, I think Nick Suzuki is going to start to really explode offensively. And you're going to see the defense continue on with that. And just to create an overall fantastic product that would be easily worth an $8.5 or $9 million cap hit on the market. I think Nick Suzuki has already proven so much. He's already played so well and has already been a great leader for the Montreal Canadiens. And the sky is truly the limit for him with his playoff success, with his regular season success. This guy is going to be dynamic and is a guy that is much needed to lock up long term. I'm super glad the Habs wasted no time getting him done right before the season, because this was an absolutely perfect situation. And if you're a Habs fan or any hockey fan, I think seeing this deal is just great to see. Again, a lot of younger players taking shorter term deals, which is perfectly acceptable. But an 8-year deal with Nick Suzuki, it's fresh to get it this simple, and Nick Suzuki staying as a Montreal Canadian is fantastic. He's going to make this deal look very, very good in year 2, 3, 4, in my opinion. And even though maybe year 7, year 8 might not look as good, maybe, with the cap going up probably as much as it is, I don't think it's going to be a problem even in year 7 or in year 8 when he's maybe regressing a little bit. But even then, his last year, he's going to be 30 years old. He'll still be a great NHL player, and at a $7.8 million cap hit, I just cannot complain of this deal whatsoever. I can't find any holes in this deal in my opinion. I don't think Nick Suzuki is going to be bad at all throughout this contract. I think he's going to be amazing, elite for the Montreal Canadiens, and lead them to some great regular season success and playoff success too, like he's done already. But that'll be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you enjoyed the contract breakdown. Make sure you comment down below, what do you guys think of this deal? Do you think it's a bad deal, a good deal, an overpayment, underpayment? And how do you think Nick Suzuki will do in his contract with the Montreal Canadiens? Let me know your thoughts. Of course, share this video with your friends. Get it to any Habs fans, hockey fans. You guys know. And make sure you click on this card right here to watch all of my hockey predictions and picks videos right in one playlist. My name is Nathan. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.